Hello, travelers. Welcome to the Copper Fox Inn. Come on in, take a seat, and join us as we discuss Homebrew for Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. My name is Thomas the Human Bard, and I'm joined today by...
Mercy the Tiefling Wizard.
Onog the Half-Orc Barbarian.
And Bean the Rock Gnome Rogue. Guys, I'm a little sad today.
What's wrong, Bean?
I'm in the blue. I got some blues. You know, I'm just a little down.
You're singing the blues?
No. Well, ooh, that's a good idea. I could sing. Because I was gonna say, like, what will you do? Like, I was just gonna be like, oh, I'm sad, but what will you do?
Well, what would we do?
What would we do?
What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? Lay in the morning, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, early in the morning.
All right, Bean, you have to stop the bartenders getting offended.
Bean, your magical shanty singing has transported us to the deck of a ship on the old blue.
Oh, I'm so powerful.
On the big old blue.
Oh, it's not that I had the blues. I was just on the ocean and didn't notice that I was there.
Is that what the big old blue wet thing is?
That is the big old blue one.
That's my personal favorite sea shanty.
Sailing for a picture on the
blue
big blue wet thing.
Yep. Iconic.
On this episode of the Copper Fox Inn, we'll be discussing the College of Shanties Bard. This was posted by ConorJamesArt on Unearthed Arcana, on r/Unearthed Arcana, but it is from it's the same creator person, but the company is the Dragon's Vault, and this was a promotional post kind of for their upcoming Kickstarter for Tempest, a Seafarer's Sourcebook.
Ooh. All relevant links will be in the description.
Yeah, we'll put all the links in the description if you want to go check out that Kickstarter.
For all your favorite moist subclasses.
No. You could have said salty subclasses.
I think they're opening it up in March, I think. It's a whole book that they want to fund that has subclasses, monsters, spells, magic items, all the kind of stuff for a seafaring campaign.
Love that.
And one of the subclasses that they designed was the Bardic College of Shanties.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like, for real, I used to be a professional, like, sea shanty singer pirate character at, like, a theme park. So this is just so up my alley. I'm so excited.
You should have left off the theme park part. You should have just said you used to be a pirate.
I used to be a pirate.
I used to be a professional pirate.
I used to be a professional pirate.
Because when you're a professional pirate, oh, just brave and free. You don't have to wear a suit.
All right, we're losing the Gen Z kids.
When you're a pirate all the way from your first
peg leg
to your last dying.
You gotta stop. You're making me peak.
I'm peeking over here.
If we're losing
over here.
All right.
I'm peeking here.
So I'm peeking here. So this is a class for bards who want to embrace the open sea and sing motivational shanties for their crew. So starting at 3rd level, we have Rhythmic Cooperation.
Oh. Yeah.
No, this is
I don't like the way that sounds.
No. Historically, this is why sea shanties existed. Like, not only were they a way to pass the time, but, like, a crew on a ship
it was to get everyone on beat.
They had to keep time. Like, when you raise the sails, you all have to, like, go in rhythm. So somebody's job was to sing so that everyone could be in rhythm. That's why sea shanties have, like, a big beat.
Because
yo-ho!
If one person is pulling, like, the rope at the wrong time, it can, like, go up twisted or at a wrong angle. It's like you all have to be in sync as you're doing all these movements.
I didn't know the boy bands made sea shanties.
What?
In sync.
Oh, in sync. Okay.
You told us to stop, and now you're making... I'm peeking over here.
Onog, if one of us made that joke.
I would have killed you where you stood.
When you join... I feel like there's a double standard here. When you join the College of Shanties at 3rd level, you gain the ability to perform a rhythmic shanty that both inspires your allies and strengthens their bond as a crew, while the rhythm remains with them. If a creature has a bardic inspiration from you, like if you've expended a bardic inspiration use on them, until it is expended, they gain the ability to use the help action as a bonus action.
That's so good.
That's so cute.
While you have the inspiration with you, while you sing the song in your heart, you can help your friends as a bonus action. But once you spend that inspiration, you're too, like, distracted now. You're out of rhythm.
I love that.
I like that a lot, actually. I was worried that it would, like, feel like it steps on the toes too much of, like, the Mastermind Rogue and you know, helping as a bonus action. But the fact that it's, like, only while you have the Bardic Inspiration, it's a fun vibe. It's like, I'm already giving these away. It's just a slight benefit.
Yeah.
And
Like,
as a Mastermind Rogue, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
And it's cute because it turns, like, everyone else into a bit of a pseudo support.
Yeah, everyone gets to help.
Everybody has that option.
Yeah, it's really good. I like that vibe. The flavor there is very strong. The next ability, Grog-to-shanty, or maybe Grog-to-shanty?
It's
I don't know
Grogged.
how to pronounce it.
I prefer Grog-ed, yeah.
Grog. I got two different responses there. Starting at 3rd level, you can encourage drunken revelry with the power of your voice alone. If you perform for at least 1 minute, you can attempt to fill your audience with intoxicating magic by singing a raucous shanty. At the end of the performance, choose a number of humanoids within 60 feet of you who can hear you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, a minimum of 1. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. A creature may fail this save willingly. While affected by this shanty, creatures become joyfully drunk, and for the next hour they have advantage on all charisma and strength checks, but have disadvantage on all dexterity and wisdom checks.
That's so
That's
good.
great.
Oh no.
If a
Oh, no.
target succeeds on its saving throw, they have no hint that you tried to inebriate them. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest.
I like that they add that on, because every now and then when there is an ability that is you modifying someone else's state that requires a saving throw, it bothers me that there is still that default implication that can they tell I'm trying to cast a spell on them and now they'll be mad at me? Because sometimes that's thematically appropriate, but sometimes it really kills the vibe. And so I'm glad that they included that here, because that would be a bummer on this one.
I really like that this doesn't attempt to say, like, and they have to do what you say. It's just, look, they have a lot of, like charisma, and they feel really strong and powerful, but they might fall over a little bit. Or, like, they might not notice something as obvious.
It doesn't feel malicious.
It doesn't feel like the malicious part of, like,
Yeah.
haha, I snuck alcohol into your drink, you know? Like,
They
that's
can-
gross. We want to stay
they
away
can-
from that.
They can punch
Definitely.
through a wall, but they don't realize that punching through the wall is a bad idea.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and also, my only downside about this ability is that it takes a minute to do it, which means it can't be used in combat.
Oh wait,
No,
that's
it's definitely supposed to be more of like
And
a
so-
pre-combat type.
If you're trying to set someone up for failure, then you can't do it in combat. You have to do it out of combat and just hope they stay drunk.
I think it's a good transitional ability, though, where you're like, all right, guys, I'm going to perform. If this fails, we have to attack them. And if it succeeds, we might be able to sneak by. Like,
You know when you could use this? I'm thinking of a specific encounter that we've had before, but I know this is a pretty common dynamic. If you're like at a tavern with your party and maybe your barbarian is gonna arm wrestle somebody, and you can kind of get the whole tavern going and get them excited, but you choose the humanoids that are affected, so then you can
You
buff
pick
your
the
guy
good
and not the
ones.
opponent
Yeah.
to give them that confidence, help them loosen up.
Yeah, definitely.
I do like that you can use this on your own party and they can willingly fail. And it's cool because, like, maybe you need charisma or strength, but it comes at a cost. And so, like...
Yeah.
But then your party is, like, very tipsy. Like, it's cool that you have the ability to choose if it's worth it. I think that's very fun.
Well, I really like the freedom it gives me as a DM to create fun and flavorful, like, checks for the group to make. To be like, especially if we're doing something like a pirating campaign, be like, okay, you get in the rowboat, and you're trying to, like, race to get there before the other boat does. And it's like, okay, well, that'll be, like, a group strength check or something like that to be, like, how strong are you to row the oars fast
Right.
enough? So then it's, like, the bards, like, I'll sing while we go, and we'll have, advantage on that.
Also, the fact that it gives disadvantage on wisdom checks could be useful in a way that, again, I love how flavorfully the mechanics work with the story. If you are trying to be deceitful, perhaps, or charm,
pickpocket
not charm
somebody.
as in the mechanic, but just, charm your way into some people's good graces or get information out of people, giving other people disadvantage on their insight checks against you because you bought them a few drinks, like, feels right.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. It tracks. And
I
I
also
think
love-
it's like being able to sneak by because they failed their perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the guards a little tipsy, so
You need,
yeah.
you need to get the key off of that one guard. Let's start a party. you know?
Exactly. Like, this isn't for extreme stealth, but it's great for create a distraction, get everyone not paying their
Yep.
best attention.
I was gonna say, it's that classic scene, they step out, and it's like, they're playing their ukulele and singing a song while the rest of the party sneaks past the guards, and the guards are just like,
Exactly.
woo!
That's actually really, really good in my opinion, and that this ability incentivizes a play style that is fun, but is not necessarily the default that people often slip into of just like, oh, we'll just stealth, we'll just sneak our way through. And it's very, low key and straightforward, and you get in the habit of always doing that. And then, but having this ability makes you go, or what if we started a party? And it just leads you to do things in a way that you don't always do in D&D that is more fun.
It ends up probably being more or less mechanically similar, but
Your
the
experience will be
entire vibe
different,
is
yeah.
different now. Yeah.
And that's great. I love that.
I think that's really
Yeah.
cool. So the next ability is at 6th level, the Fellowship of Burden. At 6th level, your shanties now help build a deep sense of camaraderie amongst your allies. All creatures that currently have bardic inspiration from you become intrinsically bonded, in tune with each other's natural rhythms. When one of these creatures takes damage, another within 30 feet of it can expend the inspiration as a reaction to grant that creature resistance to that instance of damage.
Whoa.
Okay, one second. We're going to kind of work through this. While taking damage of an equal amount itself. This damage can't be reduced in any way. Both creatures then gain temporary hit points equal to the number rolled on the inspiration die, which lasts until the end of their next turn.
All right.
This is a little bit granular and mechanical, but the idea being you can split damage so that they only take half of it and you take the other half.
Right.
And then you get a little bit of healing, so it nullifies some of the damage you've taken, and you bolster each other with your, you roll the D8 or whatever the Bardic Inspiration is, and you get a 4. Okay, and we got a couple extra hit points
Yeah.
for the next
Yeah.
turn. Like, okay.
We got some hit points for our troubles.
I
But
feel
it's a
like-
way to. It's like you're working together as a team, and as you are succeeding with each other, you're also like protecting each other,
way to share the
taking
burden.
on the load that you're going up against.
This is so there are spells that do this and other class abilities and things like that do similar things. I think this could do with a little bit of rewording because it is worded slightly different, at least in the way the timing of the damage works with the damage resistance. Because it could be implied that you grant the guy resistance to the damage and then you take the full damage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to be specifically changed to the wording, you take damage equal to the damage the guy took, or something like that. Like, if you say you take the full damage, that could mean you take damage before resistance is applied.
like that they take 5 and you take 10.
That you take 10. Yeah, and so it's like that's probably not what they meant, but that could be a way of interpreting the way it is currently worded.
Yeah, I think of all the abilities in this is the one that I totally get what it's going for, but in that classic D&D way, I think it might need a little semantic overhaul
Adjustment, yeah.
to get what it's trying to say to work within the confines of how D&D semantics work. But I love the flavor of it. I love the idea that giving your bardic inspiration out to the group, like earlier, it let them help each other. And now it's another thing that you share this inspiration with these other people and that links you all together. Everyone who has that inspiration die in hand, they have the song that you sang to them still in their heart or whatever. I love that idea that it somehow connects all of them.
Yeah, specifically the spell is Warding Bond.
So maybe look to that for a little bit of templating or whatever
Yeah,
to smooth out the text of this, or the semantics of the ability.
Yeah.
But I really love the vibe of it.
It's also good because it encourages a lot of anime moments of you both look at one of you gets hurt, but you both look at each other, and as your eyes lock, you both go, and you're able to get through it together.
The power of friendship.
As you get hit by the spear, you look to your friend, and he looks at you, and he goes, what would you do with the drunken sailor? And he looks back and he just pulls the spear out of his chest and he goes, early in the morning, and he keeps attacking.
Yeah,
It is also interesting that this is the second mechanical benefit we see for keeping your inspiration as opposed to using it.
Which I really think is
that's
fun.
something I haven't really seen other bards do before.
That's part
You
of
have
what
that in
drew me to this subclass.
I found that playing a College of Swords bard, I was often using those inspirations for.
Well, yeah, you were not giving them away to other people. You were just keeping them for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas
Like
this
a
one, you give
selfish
them
swords
away,
bard.
but then they don't use them. They just hold on to it.
Oh, right. Okay, I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a very good example of like using an existing mechanic but forcing players to think about it differently and like play with it differently. It's excellent.
Definitely. There's a little bit of like the College of Creation, I think it is, where like you send musical notes to float around your friends, and while it's hovering around them, they get a benefit. But it's just, it's works a little bit differently with the other mechanics of the class. I think it's really cool. Let's look at the capstone feature here. The final ability, Song of the Warship. Beginning at 14th level, your singing allows you and your fellow crewmates to better coordinate during combat. Whenever you cast a bard spell of first level or higher that has a verbal component, you can expend one use of your bardic inspiration to sing a shanty with a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier that are within 60 feet, can hear you, and can speak.
So they are
There's a lot
singing
of
as well.
qualifiers there. They have to sing with you. That's the thing. They have to be able to hear you and
It's
sing
a
with you.
requirement, Jimmy.
Yes. If they are a rock if they are Rocco from Sesame Street, they cannot join.
Hello, Rock.
As a reaction, those creatures can make a weapon attack and add the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die to the attack roll. So this reminded me, when I first read it, of Bean and Onog. You had talked about a Bardic class in which everyone got to get a free attack in on the Bard's
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
It's once more with feeling. It's
college-
our
It's-
diva
it
bard.
is very similar to that in concept, where during combat, whenever you cast a bard spell that has a verbal component, you get to burn one of your bardic inspirations, and then anybody nearby you who's able to join in, who you want to join in, gets an attack in addition to whatever else is happening with the spell. So if you're casting whatever spell it might be, they get to join in, and now you're also adding to your team's damage output for the round.
It's also very intimidating because you all sing together as you stab someone as you all stab someone at the same time.
I absolutely love the way that they've worked this. It's very cool.
I like it a lot. It's got definitely like a high, what's the term? Like investment cost. Like you have to be casting a spell and then also using a bardic inspiration while within 60 feet of people who can hear. It's like there's a lot of
There's a
upfront
lot.
work to put in, but
But it's a very
pretty
powerful
smooth.
ability.
And I think it is supposed to, I was reading through some of the comments, I think it is supposed to say a number of like up to your charisma modifier, where it's like, I think you can just choose. It doesn't have to be exactly.
No, you have to have 5
You have to have
fellow
all
singers.
5 of the parts. If there's no bass, then the song doesn't work.
I think I will also add, I know it says that they have to sing specifically, and I do like that vibe. It's not written here, but I would like to add the caveat that, like, this is your responsibility as a DM. Like, if one of the players just inherently doesn't have the ability to sing, like maybe they are a 3-creen, or their character doesn't have vocal cords or something, like, don't punish them for that. Like, allow them to join in somehow. Like, they clap
Well, 3
along.
cranes can sing. He's the rhythm section.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying.
He's the beatboxer.
Someone could imply that they couldn't.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I
maybe
think the intent was for like if they're gagged or something, they can't
Yes.
join in. Like
Like
if
that-
the enemy has tried to stop them from
Temporarily.
joining. Yeah,
Yeah,
temporarily.
exactly.
But I get what you're saying, Bean, with like if it's a player race that has like if it's a Kenku and then you argue, actually, Kenku can't sing, they can only repeat. It's like, no, let's just let them participate.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, then the Kenku sings in the round. He's the second verse.
Oh, I love that.
He's the reverb.
Or like if you had a character that used sign language instead of speaking, like they get to be a part of the song. Like obviously,
Definitely.
and to me it's obvious, but just like make sure to include that. Like make sure,
Yeah, just like don't be a dick, everyone. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
one of those things.
Don't be a what was the word for pirates? But they were terrible and like work for the government.
Pirates?
Oh,
privateers.
Yeah, don't be a privateer.
Be a pirate, not
okay?
Be a
privateer.
pirate, not a privateer.
Be a pirate. Yeah, come on. Don't sell out. That is the College of Shanties. Bean Onog, with your background in Shanties, tell me, what do you think of this class? Does it carry across the vibe of singing the sea shanty together with your crew?
Oh, so much. The vibe captured here of like, I have gifted you this song, but it's not the song that's making the ship run. It's you all working together is very present here. And it encourages a playstyle of like, you as a party are having each other's backs and working together and thinking of creative ways to solve problems. Like, you're a crew, you're a party. And I love that just this one aspect of this one character has this influence on the way that you play the whole campaign. Not like in a I'm taking over now, but just like that it encourages camaraderie in this grand scheme. And I think that's so
Definitely.
cool.
Yeah, I saw in the Kickstarter kind of preview stuff for the Tempest Seafarer Sourcebook, some of the other subclass options, they're all themed around being these members of a ship. So there was like the bilge rat rogue. There was
That's a great name.
yeah, there was the
And then there's the Merchant Alliant Wizard.
I think there was like a crow's nest ranger or something like that. I think there was a
Yeah.
There was
Ooh,
like
I love that.
There's like a cleric of voyages or something. It's like all of these are definitely built to, you make a crew. You're going to be the captain. I'm going to be the commander. You're the bard. Like we're all parts of the ship together. And so what you were saying, Bean, about like it definitely can influence the vibe of a group or a campaign. It's definitely supposed to bring that because they wanted to really strongly elicit those emotions with this homebrew that they've made.
It's very good.
Thanks for listening so much, travelers. If you enjoyed our discussion of the College of Shanties Bard, please hit the like button at the bottom of the video. It really helps the channel out a lot. And if you want to see the next topic that we cover, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you get the latest and greatest homebrew discussion content on your, algorithm feed that YouTube gives you. Thanks again to ConorJamesArt and the folks over at the Dragon's Vault for this little preview of their upcoming Kickstarter. As we mentioned, the links to that will be in the description below. And I was actually using a link, I was using a page that they posted on r/Unearthed Arcana, so I'll have a link to that as well if you want to see some comments, what other people are saying about it. I believe the creator was also answering some questions people had. If you want to reach out to them there, you can do that. And if you want to reach out to us, you can always send homebrews that you've made or found to our email, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com, or on social media @thecopperfoxinn. And until next time, Bean, start singing us out. And until next time, keep on adventuring, sailors.
YARRR!
Meet more, me, 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 more. Me, 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 me.